Hi, everybody.
Hello,
Welcome to
everybody.
Mastering Mental Wellness, along with my co host, Isaac,
Hello,
who
everybody.
I am so tickled that he decided to jump on board with me with this. Because I was like, I don't know if I can do this one by myself.
My pleasure. My pleasure.
and so thank y'all for coming. Thank y'all for, wow, we've already got a whole slew of comments. Very good.
Okay.
Um, Hi, Bora Bora. She's here. And Mickey is here, and NJ is here, and I don't know. I'm sure more people will pop in a minute.
Hmm.
Um, well, as we told y'all last month, we put 3 of our picks in a poll, and then let y'all decide which one you wanted us to cover this time. And physical grounding for empaths
Hmm.
was by and far landslide for decisions cover this one.
Hmm.
So that's what we're going to cover today.
Yes.
And build it and they will come. Yeah.
All right.
Oh my goodness. Late morning. Yeah.
Good afternoon, Lori.
Hi, Lori. And where are you at, Nikki? If you just woke up, it's morning. I think she's overseas.
Really?
Nikki, what country are you in? I forget. Um, these are challenging time for empaths.
Yes.
They it's there's so much stuff that's just you get hit with just
Hmm.
walking out the door.
Hmm.
Australia, okay, she's from
Oh,
Queensland, Australia,
Australia.
and so we're international.
Edinburgh, Queensland,
And
Australia. Wow.
Bundaberg, okay, I've heard of that.
Hmm.
I've heard of Bundaberg. Queensland, of course, everybody knows Queensland, but
Hmm.
um, I couldn't remember if you were Australia or New Zealand uh, or England or I knew you were somewhere else. I just couldn't remember when. Bundaberg rum. I don't think I've ever had that one, but
Me?
I'm willing to try.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to have that now. Now that I.
Now that I know somebody from there, I'm going to have to
Yeah.
try to get some of that rum. I tend to stick to Captain Jack spiced rum, so because I can get the little bitty airplane bottles at the store. The last bottle I bought was 3 years ago, and I still have half a bottle. So shows you how much I drink.
Mm, okay.
From the get go, pardon me in my super growling voice today. My allergies are in full force, and it's been constant head congestion and nasal drip. So my throat feels like it's full of sandpaper. And so I'm going to let Isaac do most of the talking when we start
Okay.
discussing our topics. Hi, Lorraine. And so what are some of the, I guess I would say, warning signs
Hmm.
that people who are empaths should be aware of they're getting they're getting overwhelmed with um
And
I
and
guess
and and one thing too, I'd like the everybody to sort of put in some things that they realize that are traits of an empath, and we can probably talk about those. But most of the time, people
very
who
good.
are
Yeah.
empaths
Well,
are going to experience anxiety, and it may not be like a high grade anxiety, but what they'll do is most people who are empaths, they will avoid large groups. And
yeah.
the reason why they avoid the large groups is like they lose energy in those groups, and or else they pick up a lot of energy around them that may not be about them. But when you're what Rose Tree would call an untrained empath, you think it's your stuff, and not other people's stuff.
Right.
And when you
Especially if you get around any kind of a psychic vampire.
yes,
They
yeah,
just suck the energy right out of you. Most of them don't even know they're doing it. It
uh-uh, mhm,
just how their energy works, but it's
right,
exhausting.
right. Because an empath can lose energy quickly. Just there's one thing that I've noticed, not about empaths and about myself. It's something that you just have to practice. An empath will either in their mind, or sometimes they will say it out loud. We will actually say what's going on with other people. For instance, if there's someone who annoys you or they do the same thing over and over, we will say, okay, they're going, for example, you may say somebody like, they've quit their job again. And we know it, but we watch it like a movie and we don't
Yeah,
use it as information. And if an empath can sort of flip that around and use it as information, it's like you can start to figure out how to counter these things. And it may be working with someone who always gives you, well, maybe gives you part of their work,
yeah,
and we take it on and we say, okay, they're not going to get this out on time, and then they're going to ask me.
yeah,
And we know it, but we don't say anything. We wait and we watch like a movie, and then we think it's something wrong with us because the person doesn't change. But one of the hardest things for an empath to do is set a boundary, but use the information that's coming to them. Does that make sense?
yeah. It makes sense to me. Yeah. Um, I know Teresa was saying that, yeah, crowds, she gets
Hmm.
overwhelmed in crowds. Yeah.
Hmm.
Um,
Now, I'm a
so,
person, when I was growing up, and for a long time, I didn't talk. I could sort of like stare into space, or some what a psychologist or a counselor would call dissociate. It's
right.
almost like when you're around people that bother you a lot, you sort of sit in your head and daydream, like you're removing yourself in your
Yeah.
mind.
You put up that barrier,
Right,
but it's to an extent that you block everything.
right, right.
Okay.
And then people think that you're odd. But if you're using the information that's coming to you, you can say, if I go away every time I'm with these people or with this group of people, what is that telling me? It's almost like you got to go back and check it out with yourself,
Yeah.
because all you're doing is protecting yourself.
Yeah. I have an old friend that I've known a long time. I don't go around her very often because she's one of those vampires. I mean, she
Mm-hmm.
just, oh, it takes so much energy just to sit and visit with her for, say, an hour. It's like the
Uh-huh.
rest of the day I'm wiped out. It just
Uh-huh.
completely drains me.
Uh-huh.
Um, and it took a while for me to figure that out so I could kind of
Mm-hmm.
prepare for it. When I know I'm going to be around her, I can kind of go
Mm-hmm.
ahead and get some of those walls up so I
Mm-hmm.
can block some of that. And but it can be what was it Bora Bora was saying? She uses the zip up technique
Oh, okay.
and power poses. Okay, I don't know what that is.
I know about the power poses.
Okay.
It's almost like, a Superman pose, and you're empowering yourself.
Oh, okay. Yeah,
You're
you
pu-
get that. Mm,
yeah, you're pulling in your aura, because Rose Tree would say that an empath, they come in and their auras just spread out, and they're picking up other people's energy. They need to pull their energy back into themselves, which is hard for an empath because we think we're supposed to be helping people. Even if we get the bad end of the deal every time, we're trying to help people.
right.
Yes.
And that's what empaths are kind of designed for is to help
Right.
others because we can connect to what it is they're feeling,
Mhm.
to help them work their way through it.
Uh-huh.
But it's learning to not let it go beyond a certain point, I guess would be a good way to put it.
Yeah,
MJ was
go
saying that, yeah, just people sending her the love and energy that she needed
ahead. Mhm.
to help her recover from surgery.
Mhm.
And
Mhm.
that's one thing I will say with a community full of empaths. You let somebody say so and so's sick or so and
Right.
so got hurt, and it's like everybody goes in for the kill. You know, we all sending it out. I've had people
Mhm.
say, "Oh my God, it was overwhelming. All the they could feel it coming at them." You know.
Mhm. Mhm.
Um,
Yeah.
let's see, Mickey and Steve Watts is Mickey. It's not Steve.
Yeah.
Um, said that she started setting firmer boundaries, and
Mhm.
but
Right.
tough titties on that. I like that.
Well, the reason why they don't like you setting the boundaries is because they're used to manipulating the empath. Sometimes, most people, when they're dealing with an empath, they won't say, "Could you do this for me?" They'll say things like, "Oh, it would be so nice if I had that." And empaths just step up. And what
Yeah,
we need to do, which is, to be honest with you, it makes an empath feel good helping.
right.
That's why you have to take care of yourself so that you can do what you're able to do. And when you feel like you've been manipulated, well, empaths are good at picking up on manipulation too. It doesn't feel good in their body. And it's like they'll dig in their heels. And sometimes we need to start talking these things out with ourselves so that we can start deciding what we want to do and how we want to do it. In that list that we were talking about, that Rose Tree has in her book, what she's talking about is grounding yourself. And, we talk about grounding ourselves, putting our feet flat on the floor and taking some deep breaths. She'll
Yeah,
talk about checking your heartbeat, just or checking your pulse,
yeah,
rubbing your fingers together. Basically, you're bringing your attention back to yourself. You're coming back in the present moment. You're not going away
right.
in your head so that you don't have to deal with the person. And empaths, we can be very strong people, but we have to learn to name our emotions, if that makes sense.
Yeah,
When you learn to name your emotions, you can separate it from other people's emotions.
I like what Lorraine put. Manipulation is a weapon
Uh huh.
for their selfishness.
Uh huh.
Yeah, because people that do that kind of thing, they learn real fast who in the office is going to always say yes to them
Right.
and do their work. And so
Uh
they
huh.
will fiddle fart around for weeks
Uh huh.
until it's go time, and then that's when they'll come and dump it.
Hmm. Now let's say this. Let's use that example, share.
Okay.
And this is something that and I said that earlier. This is something that an empath sees over and over. You may say, "I know that Joe is going to wait until the last minute, and then he's going to say, 'Can you get this for me? Can you get this? Can you help me with this? I'm, I'm behind, and I got all this stuff to do.'" You know, at some point, an empath needs to like sort of look at the calendar and say, and you could say something like, "Joe, I'm working on my end of month report. Where are you on yours?" and and you can set it up ahead in advance and say, you know it's like when i I do mine ahead of time because I get so frantic and I lose myself when I race around and I help you. So I'm going to encourage you to do yours as we go so that we don't have to race around because it makes me feel so bad. And it's
Right.
not that we're going to set him up to hurt him. You're really setting it up to help him and teach him how to do it. Does that make sense?
Yes, it
Because
does.
because an empath, it drains an empath to try to manipulate a person. it just drains us. It's like it's not we don't have enough energy to keep doing it, but we can help a person get there. Really, we're teaching them. That's
Yeah.
what I say to you.
Uh, I'm trying to put Rose's thing in the chat here. I meant to do it earlier and forgot.
Okay. All
Okay.
right. All right.
Um, uh,
But that's
y-
what I would say. Uh, in this weekend, an empath usually, that will do things to sort of ground ourselves, like a beaded bracelet, a meditation bracelet, or fidget. If you've seen those little fidget things that people do with their fingers, somebody had a fidget ring. I never seen one before. It's like
wow.
it was a ring, but on the ring, it had like I guess little imitation diamonds, but the ring slid around itself. It just rotated
Huh.
around itself, and she just sat there and she was spinning. She laughed. She was like, "This is just what I do to calm myself down." And I was like, "Wow." But the thing of let me say this. What we do is we try to do those things in the moment. These are things that we need to practice before we get to the anxiety. And if
Yeah.
you know you're going to a large gathering, plan your strategy out for doing it. I'm sitting here talking and talking and talking. There was a time that I just did not like talking to people, and I had to learn to do it.
Right.
And I'm pretty good at it. But if I have to do a presentation that's an hour or more long, I'll just be drained afterward. And I just have to
Yeah.
remove myself.
Same here. As much
Yeah,
as I love to talk and be with people,
right.
if I have to get up in front of people and present,
Yes.
uh-uh,
Yeah.
I
Th-
completely freeze up.
Me
And
too.
it's
This is
funny
fine.
because I can do this and I'm
Right.
fine,
Right.
you know. But I like Lorraine put uh that she hates knowing that so far the only way she's been able to control it is to stay home.
Uh-huh.
And a lot of empaths do that.
Mhm.
They find jobs that they can do at home,
Right.
or they
Mhm.
or someplace where they go into the office off
Mhm.
hours, that
Mhm.
kind of thing.
Mhm. Well, and one thing, the reason why that may be is a lot of people, especially empaths, they recharge when they're alone. They don't need a lot of people around them. They can be perfectly happy sitting on the back porch looking out across the woods. They are fine with that. And people will tell us, "Oh, you need to get out more." Actually, you need to do what works best for you. And
Right.
you need to have a way to counter what people are telling you. If they're telling you that what you're doing is wrong, you say, "No, no, I really like spending time by myself. I recharge when I'm alone." Because
Yeah.
they keep us guessing, or we keep ourselves guessing because we don't want to hurt their feelings. But we should always counter things like that.
And
I,
know what it is that we truly enjoy doing and what causes us personal distress if we have to go through it.
right, right.
And
Hmm.
no, let's see. Teresa was saying that that's because you are an empath and psychic, Teresa. We've been telling you that for a while now, darling. Um, so yeah, let's see. Yeah, I've had to sever relationships
Uh huh.
simply because I
Hmm.
couldn't seem to block myself from
Hmm.
it. And
Hmm.
it was easier to just walk away
Hmm.
than it was trying to deal with it or get them to deal with whatever their issue is.
Hmm.
And so yeah,
Hmm.
that can be a pain in the butt. Um,
Right. Right.
let's see, what else did Lorraine say? She had a running commentary going here. I was trying to make sure I had them started in the right order. um,
Say what you mean
And
what you
it's and the thing you've got to prepare yourself for is when you tell someone no, that's a full sentence.
Uh-huh.
No, period. You don't need to add any explanations. You don't need to make it appear like you saying no is I don't know how to phrase it. Um,
What I would say to
it's
you,
just
Shay,
learning that no means no, you know.
I've heard no is a complete sentence. It sounds good until you tell an empath to just go and tell them no. Do you know what the empath hear you saying? Take your lawn chair, sink to the bottom of the pool, and take some deep breaths.
Yeah.
They don't get it. It's like an empath is like it's uh, anxiety in their body. An empath has to learn how to say no. An empath's no may be, I would love to help you, but I'm not going to be able to. And what's in that statement is the is you're being realistic, you're being honest. I would love to help you, but I'm not going to be able to. Most people say, okay, but an empath, the whole reason why they don't do it is they don't want to hurt anyone. And what you have to do is you have to practice it as you go. And if that person gets upset because you can't help them, they were manipulating you anyway, they were using. And you might as well cut to the chase.
And Lorraine, master manipulators have learned how to pick key phrases out that's going to get under your skin.
Uh-huh.
Whether you're a witch or not,
Right.
that's your business and nobody else's.
Well,
I'm technically not a witch, even though I practice a lot of Wiccan beliefs. But when I've had people almost accuse me of, well, you're just a witch doing witchcraft, and I'm like, okay.
mhm.
And your point would be, you
Yeah,
know,
it sounds like
um,
Lorraine just called them out and say, "I know what you're doing." But that's the thing, we always know, but people don't like you to peep their game. So what you
yeah,
do is you just you say, ask them to repeat it. So repeat that. What do you want me to do again? I'm not going to be able to do that because see what we do is because we're picking up on their energy, and I've done this before. I've blown up on people because I knew what they were doing, but they were trying to be clever with it. And to be honest with you, I was so embarrassed afterward that I didn't handle it differently. But to be honest with you, it took me a while before I got to a point where I would even blow up. It just was not in me.
actually calling yourself crazy was that was a technique my mother would use on me and my brother
Really?
because we would drive her crazy because we fought like cats and dogs when we were kids. And she would get to the point where she would grab her purse and her keys and she'd head to the door, which would usually stop us in our tracks and say, "Where are you going?" She'd say, "Crazy. You want to come with me?" "No, mom, it's okay, mom." And she would leave, get in
Uh-huh.
the car and like go drive around the block a few times
Mhm. Mhm.
to calm down.
Mhm.
She said so she didn't kill us,
Uh-huh.
which was pretty amazing considering.
Uh-huh.
Um, and it's funny because my brother and I live together now. And yeah, we irritate each other, but we're not at the killing each other stage, at least not yet. Um,
Yeah.
but let's see, Mickey was saying that
Oh.
yeah, see, that's even harder when you have family members
Mhm.
that that work at trying to control your feelings so
Yeah.
that they feel better.
Mhm.
If they can make you miserable, then they feel better because now they feel like they've passed that misery on to
Mhm.
someone else instead of just dealing with it themselves.
And you know one thing, Mickey? and everybody start noticing, and I'm saying this because Mickey says that her what is it, my BS meter is functioning at full speed. That's a empath has to work backward. When
Yeah,
I'm with a narcissist, I feel it in my chest because I'm wanting to get away from the person. I'm saying things in my head like, I wish this person would stop talking to me. I need to be away from this person. And if you work backward, you start to realize, and we are taught, don't judge people, don't categorize people. But if it's somebody that has, I guess, hurt you, manipulated you in the past, it's
yeah,
not a bad idea to categorize it. And I can almost diagnose a person just by sitting with them and feeling their energy. You will feel it in different parts of your body.
yeah. And I'm sure you know who Juno is. Juno Sphere. She's on in chat.
Yeah.
She and I do a
Uh-huh.
show together once a month now.
Hmm.
Um, and she practices Jin Shin Jitsu,
Uh-huh.
which is sort of kind of like energy healing, but
Hmm.
not. It's like knowing, if you rub and pull your thumb, it's going to alleviate a certain feeling or
Yeah, yeah,
emotion.
yeah. I've seen your
It-
show before. Yeah.
right. So I'm gonna have to bring Juno on with us one Sunday,
Uh-huh.
and so she can talk a little more about it. I mean, we discuss it on our show too, but it might would work well with
Mhm.
blending the two maybe one Sunday.
Mhm.
Um, because she's always trying to explain to people, if you're like with me with the COVID, and I was getting horrible headaches with it.
Mhm.
And she was like, take your thumb, go into your shoulder blade, like
Mhm.
right in the armpit here,
Mhm.
and press, not like super hard, but press down
Mhm.
until you feel the tension spot.
Mhm.
And you will feel one particular spot that's just like you've hit a live wire. And then it's just massage it. And it will make that emotion, that feeling calm down
Mhm.
and kind of go away.
Mhm.
And it's that kind of thing, or if
Mhm.
you're anxious about something, you can pull on certain fingers and or
Mhm.
rub certain fingers, and I find now I do it more than I did before. I'll sit and I'll catch myself,
Mhm.
but okay, she's
Mhm.
teaching me and I wasn't even aware of it.
Mhm.
Um, let's see. Yeah, like I said, it's hard when it's a family member.
Uh-huh.
Um, yeah,
But
because
even the thing about it is the reason why I think it's so hard with a family member is even though they're hurting us, it's like we want them to be okay. And I think the more like we want a person to be okay, the worse they get. Sometimes we have to practice because I've worked for a long time in alcohol and drugs, practice acceptance. And you just have to watch the person. And as an empath, we're always wanting to fix it and we'll give the person advice. Sometimes with certain people, we have to say, I'm not going to say anything to them unless they ask. Because some people, when you tell them how to fix a problem, they come up with another problem
yeah,
and then another one. And it's just frustrating. And you're thinking to yourself, well, what are we doing here? And I think those, I mean, we get so much information that if we tap into it, you would be amazed at some of the things you could just let go of. It's like I've known situations where people were in where they were, say, for instance, had a roommate and the roommate always had an excuse for not paying their share. And you may support the roommate, but they'll always say, you know, when when I get my
um,
bonus, when I get paid, but it always keeps backing out. and you never get their portion of it. You have to just realize that this is who this person is. How do I want to deal with it? You don't have to do anything in the moment. You just have to realize it. And when you sit there long enough, you will come up with a solution to the problem. You don't have to get mad with them. You can, if you tell a person like that, I just want you to pay your share of the power and the water bill. You know
Yeah.
what they will do? They will either pay it or they will find a way to leave.
Yeah.
And you already know that. That's why we don't say it. We already know. And you're probably telling yourself, I'm not going to say it because if I say it, they'll leave or they'll get upset.
Yeah.
If you already know, go ahead and do it. It's not a surprise.
Bye, baby. Have a good evening. Um, yeah,
Yeah.
it's like the more I've learned since I opened up and found this community and kind of accepted my gifts and whatnot, it's the more I've learned how to put up some of those boundaries for myself,
Mm-hmm.
some of those barriers. Whereas before I would make myself sick
Right.
trying to please everybody else, because that's another problem with empaths.
Yeah.
We tend to try to please everybody else around us and we're miserable.
Right.
And so um I think that's one of the things that we have to learn how to see there was another statement I guess that I'm trying to
Mm-hmm.
okay, here's one that Lorraine had said. Um trying to find there was something I saw in here earlier that caught my attention and when I looked back to start it was gone. Yeah. Chat moved kind of fast today. And that's a good thing. I'm glad.
Yeah.
And we've had several new people pop in since we got started.
Hmm.
Thank you for coming. And if I don't holler out your name, it's not intentional. I try to see everybody and say something, but
Hmm.
I tend to let's see. I did that one. I did that one. Here we go. Here's one. Lorraine was saying that yeah, it will literally make you sick to the stomach.
Hmm.
It will give you headaches. You know,
Hmm.
if if there's a certain person that whenever you're around them,
Hmm.
you start getting a headache, or if you know that they're going to be your work partner for the day, you start getting physically ill,
Hmm.
those are warning signs.
Hmm.
You know, you need to um, be able to recognize that, like Isaac was saying, so that you can then prepare yourself for the next time.
Right.
Because going into a cold is not how you're going to battle something like this. You've
Hmm.
got to prepare yourself. Just like if you're practicing a speech to give,
Hmm.
you've got to actually stand up in front of a mirror and practice that speech.
Hmm.
And let's see.
And what I would say to Lauren is ask ask what is this electrical shock feeling trying to tell me? Because really it's trying to get your attention.
Yeah,
And what we do is like, oh, I'm getting that feeling again. We never say, what is this telling me? Because if you can get grounded in the moment and start breathing, and one of the techniques is to look at a sturdy piece of furniture that will help ground you, and you will start to learn what that feeling is trying to tell you. It may say, don't talk. Say, don't talk, just contain yourself.
yeah.
It'll tell you the type person you're dealing with and what you should do next. You may
Exactly.
not get it until you're away from the situation,
Right.
but you'll tell yourself. I found myself telling myself things out loud, and I'm like, why am I just talking to myself?
Yeah, if somebody walked in my house or on my patio when I'm alone, they would think I'm crazy as a loon because I will have an entire conversation
Uh huh.
with myself
Uh huh.
just to talk things through
Uh huh.
of what I need to do tomorrow, what I'm
Uh huh.
planning to do next week, or and it's like I I will out loud talk it through.
Hmm.
My grandmother would have entire conversations,
Uh huh.
questions and answers back and forth, and she
Uh
was
huh.
the only one talking.
But this is the thing that I'll tell a lot of people. When you're talking to yourself, learn to listen
Yep.
because you're telling yourself
It's one thing
everything.
to talk to yourself, it's another thing to listen to what you're saying.
Right.
Yep.
Learn to listen.
Absolutely.
Mhm. But when we learn, but think about it, y'all. Empaths, we get a feeling and we try to dash for the door we want to run.
Right.
Empaths can handle feelings better than most people because we felt all of them. We just have to start learning what they mean to us. Some of the feelings may be this person is trying to irritate. You need to figure out what you're going to say to them. I've told people
Right.
before, we can talk about anything, but let's never talk about this because whenever we talk about this particular subject, I get frustrated. We start to get frustrated with each other. So let's talk about anything but that. And again, they will stop talking about it or they will leave. So it's
Right.
all okay. Go ahead. I see
Oh,
the
I just saw that and I thought that's I've heard that from other
right.
readers that are into the crystals and
Uh-huh.
stuff because I know nothing about them. Um,
I
or not enough what I know you could put inside my little toe.
know.
Um, but I've heard that black tourmaline was a good
Right.
shielding stone to carry with you.
I've heard Nunamite. It's like a volcanic stone. I,
Oh, okay.
yeah, I got I got my pendulum is Nunamite. Can y'all see it?
Oh, yeah, I see that. Okay. And I have a black stone that uh, a friend of the family gave me way back when I was in high school,
Mm-hmm.
and she gave it to me. It's about yay big around. It's not very big.
Uh-huh.
You can hold it in your hand. When you hold it in your hand, it's warm.
Mm-hmm.
It's
Oh.
not a cold stone.
Mm-hmm.
It's solid black. And
Mm-hmm.
when she gave it to me, she told me it was for luck and protection.
Oh.
I don't know what kind of stone it is. I've never been able to figure it out.
Uh-huh.
I think it's obsidian, but I'm not sure.
Uh-huh.
But I still carry it in my purse all the time.
I I got mine on Amazon. It had a chain on it, but for some
Yeah,
reason when I use a pendulum, I like string. I don't know why. And I took the chain off and put
exactly.
string
I've
on.
got Yeah, with my pendulums, I've got a rose quartz
Uh-huh.
and a tiger's eye that I use a lot.
This is
And
my
then I got just a plain clear, kind of whitish clear crystal.
uh-huh.
And then somebody gave me one that's a copper. It's
Mhm.
like a copper coil
Mhm.
pendant on
Mhm.
a chain that
Uh-huh.
I'll use. But
Uh-huh.
I find that I use different ones for I think I hung them back up. I did. I use different ones for different types of questions. Like if somebody's asking an emotional or romantic question, I find myself using the rose quartz.
Uh-huh.
And when they're wanting to know something that may be considered kind of to help them figure a way out of something or how to do
Mhm.
something, I'll use the tiger's eye.
Mhm.
And the copper I use for just about anything else.
Uh-huh.
And the little white granite piece I've got, I don't know, it just spins in circles. I can't get it to set itself
Uh-huh.
what's yes, what's no,
Mhm.
and so I don't know what I'm doing there.
Mhm.
I'm not only uh, uh okay. Let's see. Garnet said that the atomic nervous system, the back of spine, that's where a lot of that, like that Jinshin Jutsu
Uh-huh.
um, movements, Tai Chi, Qigong,
Uh-huh.
all of those are energy cores. I do Qigong for the to help my back,
Uh-huh.
um, but it's also very grounding
Mhm.
because when you start moving and going through the fluid movements, and it's very slow
Uh-huh.
fluid movements. One of the moves is to like scoop up energy and you're holding it in your hand,
Mhm.
and you bounce it
Yeah,
off
yeah.
at it.
Uh-huh.
But if you stand there and do that for a couple of minutes, if you work towards it, you feel like you actually have something in your hands.
Uh-huh.
It feels like a solid ball that you're holding. The first time that happened, I was like, "Oh wow, this is wild." Um, let's see, for a bore, yeah, that could very well could be.
Mhm.
A lot of times people are manipulative because they themselves were
Mhm.
manipulated or abused or um it
Mhm.
could be
And you know one thing that might be, and sometimes with people that have all of those issues, sometimes if they're around an empath, they find calmness.
yeah.
And sometimes it's like, say for instance, you're if you're around somebody who's been uh, abused, they they will they do one of several things. They will lash out at other people, or they will isolate. And I think the reason why they lash out is that they're trying to find power within
Mhm.
themselves. I've heard Abraham Hicks say that it's better to be angry than to be depressed. And I think they go in between depression and anger. They never move out of it.
Lorraine's asking where you got that stone from.
I ordered it off of Amazon.
Ah, okay. Yeah,
Ordered
you
it.
can probably get it on Amazon, Etsy. Um,
Yeah.
Jen from Jen's World Tarot. Well, that's not her name anymore. She changed her channel name.
Mhm.
She's opened her own rock shop.
Uh-huh.
She's like big time. That's her thing is crystals and stones and stuff.
Mhm.
You could always email her and ask her what
Mhm.
would be a good stone to use.
Mhm.
Um, this is the one that Isaac was holding up, the new mite.
Yeah.
Um, and so, okay, Sister Shiva says it's a little harder to find than black tourmaline.
Uh-huh.
But yeah, so in last night was full moon. You still have the healing qualities of the full moon for a couple of days.
Mhm.
If you got any stones or crystals, set them in the windowsill
Mhm.
so they can soak up that energy and help charge them up.
Mm.
Um, Mickey, yeah, Mickey makes her own sage spray.
Mhm.
I have white sage incense. I can't burn it inside because my brother's allergic, but
Mhm.
I'll walk around the outside of the apartment and wave it, all the doors, all the windows, like almost like a protection blessing,
Mhm.
just to keep
Mhm.
the negative and the chaos out. Uh, I'm sure the neighbors think I'm nutty as a fruitcake because they see me out there doing it. I see people walking their dogs just stop and like,
That's
oh, I'm
fine.
probably known as the local witch doctor over here by now. Um,
They'll
but
leave you
hey,
alone.
whatever works, right?
Right,
Uh,
right.
let's see what Lorraine had said. Yeah, it's people that rely upon
Mm,
you to keep them calm will criticize you when you pull back or when you say no.
mhm,
That's the hard part
mhm.
is us having the guts, especially as empaths, to say
Right.
enough is enough.
It
Jen
ta
Bushman, thank you, Amanda. That's who it is.
Yeah,
Check
it
out her
takes
website.
practice. When you're changing behaviors, you have to practice it over and over until it feels right. Uh, and I know I keep going back to Rose Tree. She
Let
likens
me let me
an
share
empath.
her website.
Okay.
I'm gonna put her up. This
Oh,
is her website, y'all. Isaac sent me this.
I've gone to 2 of
Um,
her
and
workshops.
the link for it is in the chat. I posted it earlier,
Mhm,
but you can go here and find all kinds of some really really good
mhm.
information.
Yeah.
Um, like on here, you can't really see it. It's not very big,
Mhm,
but yeah, she talks about she has free online workshops. That's what you're seeing here.
mm. Yeah.
Uh, spiritually sparkling aura readings, the new strong empath empowerment.
Mhm,
There's one that kind of right here of what we're talking about.
mhm,
Her workshops that she has. These are some of her books. We
mhm.
can probably buy any of them on Amazon or directly from her website here or whatever.
Yeah.
Um,
You probably get a better deal from her website.
yeah, probably so.
She likens an empath to she talks about a potty training a baby. She says
Yeah,
when a baby comes in, you they're going everywhere, and you have to potty train them to teach them when to go. And she said with an empath, you have to train them when to sort of pull in their energy because they're wide for
yeah,
everything
we
that's
tend to
going
be
on.
wide open all the time.
You have to pull in your energy.
Exactly.
Mhm,
Um, her name is Rose Tree.
mhm.
Uh,
Oh, I like that. What's that? Ganache
uh,
about put something at the front door, and when some people had a hard time coming.
Ganesh or Ganesha. Um,
Ganesha.
it's like a I don't remember now what the figurine is, but it's like it's
Oh,
almost like putting a little Buddha or something at your door.
uh-huh. Yeah, yeah,
Um,
yeah.
we have one of the members in our community does she makes oh crap, I'm gonna go blank on it. Let me pull it real quick. Uh she makes what she calls healing jars. That's it.
Mhm,
And she charges about 40 bucks for a healing jar,
mhm,
which when you consider what all she puts in it
mhm,
is pretty cheap, but she will have like a consultation with you to find out either what it is you're wanting energy for,
uh-huh.
or if you just want a general protection and blessing at your door or window or whatever.
Mhm,
Um, and she will create these jars
mhm,
that have all different kinds of stones and little figurines, little tokens, things that spirit tells her for this person, use this and use this. And she will make you a whole jar that you
mhm,
then sit at your door,
mm,
or you could put it in your window.
mhm,
Say if you're, share a place with somebody,
mhm,
they may not want something in the doorway. So
Mm.
Um, but she does those, and I will I will add her information,
Mhm.
her contact information, after the show. In
Mhm.
fact, let me write it down so I don't forget. Um, but but yeah, it's like those are pretty cool. I know several people that have ordered them,
Mhm.
and they were talking about they felt a difference.
Good.
Um, Something that I just learned from Colleen, the Cool Crone, and Gerald Tarot Stash. Now they're both witches. They're both Wiccan,
Mm.
and they have covens. They're practicing witches, and they shared. I think it was during Mabon or something. One of the Wiccan holidays they just had. They shared something that to bring abundance, all forms of abundance, into your home on the first day of the month.
Mhm.
You put like a spoonful of cinnamon in your hand.
Mhm.
You go to your front door, you open it, you step outside, and then turn and face the inside, and you blow it into your house, and
Mhm.
you set your intention. I know Marina, Heart Center Tarot, she heard them talk about it and thought, what the hell? Let me give it a try. She did it, and she said within 2 days, she had stuff coming out of the blue
Oh.
that for different things that she
Mm.
had been wanting to get done.
Mhm. Mhm.
Just boom, 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 all worked.
Mhm.
Um, uh, oh, thank you, Bora Bora. Okay, Bora Bora put Jen's YouTube channel in the chat.
Mm.
Her name's Jen Bushman. Tell her Sherry Voices from the Swamp sent you. Um, I actually met Jen face
Mm.
to face, along with Susan, psychic, Susan Lynn,
Mhm.
psychic.
Mhm.
They were they were going from, well, Susan lives in Houston, and Jen had flown down to meet up with Susan for something, and they were going to New Orleans. So they go right through my city to get to
Oh,
New Orleans. And on their way back to Houston, they stopped so
oh,
that we could meet and have lunch together. And
great.
it was like the first two people from our community that I actually met face to face. It was so cool.
Oh.
And so and then now I've met Pegasus. She's a regular in the chat. She was visiting family a couple months back,
Uh-huh.
um, here in Louisiana. She got her nephew to drive her the hour distance or whatever it was to come down here to where I'm at so
That's
we could
cool.
get together and meet. So that was really cool.
Yeah.
And probably this spring, I'm going to surprise Isaac and show up on his doorstep, say, hey,
Do that.
it's me.
We need to meet up. We need to meet up.
Let's go to lunch
We do. We need to go to lunch.
because we're next door neighbors.
Yeah.
He's in one state and I'm in another,
Yeah.
but we're not that far apart,
Not
really.
that far apart at all.
And it's very much like the elephant Buddha repels repels a negative energy.
Mhm.
And you always want to get an elephant with a trunk going up,
Okay.
never going down.
Okay.
I was told that's because going up is is filling you with good fortune,
Mhm.
and going down is emptying it all out.
Mhm.
So why would somebody make them going down then?
Right.
I don't know.
Yeah.
But I am in Louisiana, and we do voodoo, so maybe that has something to do with it. Um,
Oh, that's
I
cool.
mean, where is she? I have my little voodoo doll right here, and it's Wonder Woman,
Okay.
and that's my voodoo doll. And it's a website. They make these little watch over voodoo dolls, all varieties. They're
Uh-huh.
fantastic. I
Uh-huh.
absolutely love this company.
Uh-huh.
Um, I'll put that in the link. I'll put that link in the thing too. I don't write it down, y'all, Gonna forget.
I get it.
Um, I'll put that in the description box as well after the show.
Uh-huh.
Um, yeah, I went to do it when I heard Marina talking about it this cinnamon, and I said, "Oh, I'm gonna just do that tomorrow. I don't have to wait till the first day of the month." And I went to look, and we were out of cinnamon. And I haven't been to the grocery store to go get some since.
Mhm.
And hi, Amanda. Okay, you only need about an eighth of a teaspoon, she said.
Mhm.
So just a little pinch, and blow it into your door. Uh, yeah, I don't think my car would make it through the Atlantic Ocean to get to, or the Pacific Ocean to get to Australia. Um, but there we go, road trip. Yep, you got it. And I'm hoping I can go to the beach this summer. I haven't been to the beach in so many years. It's not even funny.
Mhm.
Um, to see if there was anything else that I might have missed. Making sure we're not missing any questions because we're like just under an hour here.
Okay.
So I don't want to keep Isaac any longer than I have to. And I have a meditation thing at 6 o'clock. So
Okay. Okay. Yeah.
in half an hour. So
Okay.
um, we're doing a group meditation for Ukraine
Oh, wonderful.
at 6 o'clock, the cool crone.
Okay.
Uh, I'll be simulcasting on my channel as well.
Okay.
So y'all tune in. We'll talk a little bit, and then Colleen will do a guided meditation, and you can just sit and follow along
Okay.
on the guided meditation. Because all we're going to be doing, you're going to see everybody going,
Okay. I think I'm gonna join you.
"Oh, awesome!" And
That's one thing that I would recommend for empaths is practice meditation.
yes,
Meditation.
uh,
Everything that you deal with will come up in that meditation as long as you can keep just coming back
absolutely.
and doing it,
Um,
you gain more experience.
and if you have trouble meditating, go do some guided meditations
Yes.
where they talk you through it.
Yeah.
Colleen from the Cool Crone, she has guided meditations on her channel.
Mhm.
I believe, pretty sure Val from Dragonfly Crystals has some guided meditations.
Mhm.
Possibly Marina from Heart Centered Tarot. I don't know
Mhm.
if she's got any on her channel. I know Arthur, Ease Your Mind. Uh, y'all all know him. We do a show together a couple of times a month.
Mhm.
Uh, he does wonderful guided meditations.
Mhm.
Um, there's Terry at Holding Your Space. I did a show with her earlier today.
Mhm.
She does a guided meditation every morning,
Mhm.
live,
Mhm.
online.
Mhm.
All you got to do is turn it on. You can follow right along,
Oh, okay.
which is great. Um, except usually when she's doing it is when I'm first getting in the office and
Mhm.
I'm running all around getting stuff set up for the day.
Mhm.
So I told her, I said, I usually have my earbud in, so I'm
Mhm.
listening, but I
Mhm.
can't really do anything.
Mhm.
I said, but I figure maybe some of it's sinking in because I'm listening.
Uh-huh.
Um, but yeah, I mean, there are some really talented people in the community that do guided meditations
Mhm.
that will help, just help you kind of zone in.
Mhm.
Um, Hay House, the publisher Hay House,
Mhm.
they have a program where you can I don't remember what it is a month. I got a special deal where it was like $60 for the year or something.
Mhm.
And they have meditations, guided meditations,
Mhm.
just music meditations and stuff.
Mhm.
One of their audible programs they have that you just plug in your ears and listen.
Mhm.
And so I mean it's out there.
Yeah.
Uh, but there's a lot of people online in the community that do it and they don't charge you money for it.
Mhm.
Some of those others they charge you a pretty penny. But
Mm.
so yeah. Well, Isaac, I think we pretty much wrapped this up.
Okay.
And thank you very much.
You're welcome. Thank you.
I like spending time with you.
I like
You
spending
make me happy. I
time.
don't know why, but you make me happy.
Thank you.
Uh,
You make me happy.
the first time I met you and that smile and it just lit me up. I was like, oh, I got to get to know him.
Yes, and look, we're working together. I
Now
love
we're working together, so I love it. Yep, absolutely. And then I just discovered we're actually next door neighbors.
it.
We
Right.
just
Right.
over the state line from each other. I was like,
Yeah.
where have I been all this
Right.
time?
Right.
And so hopefully that won't be too much longer. We'll be able to meet and get together and we'll film it.
Yes.
Invite everybody else to come along. We'll
Yeah.
do a live stream.
Yeah, you can do some
Lunch with
short.
Sherry and Isaac.
We'll have lunch and you can do some shorts.
There you go. Um, so thank y'all very much. Isaac and I will pick out the next 3 topics that we think might be of interest. I'll post it on the community page as a poll, and y'all can go in and vote on what topic you want us to cover next time,
Okay.
which will be on when is next time? March 10th
Okay.
at 4:30 Central. March 10th, we'll be back. And so that way y'all can go in and vote for which one you want us to cover.
Mhm.
And then the winner, we will cover it next go round.
Mhm.
And so thank y'all again for coming. I really appreciate it. Go over and check out. I think everybody that's doing the meditation is simulcasting. So you could stay on my channel or you can go to Colleen's channel or
Okay.
Val's channel or Cleo's channel or Gerald's channel or Arthur's channel. I don't know. There's like
Okay.
5 or 6 of us that are going to all be on. So,
Okay.
um, and we'll be able to, you'll be able to join in and do the meditation with us,
I'll
which ought to
join
be
the
fun.
meditation.
And and it's for Ukraine.
Okay.
Um, that's specifically what we're covering today. And she does different ones on different days.
I'll wear
So
I'll wear my Ukraine T-shirt.
yeah, there you go. I need to get one of those. All right, people. Y'all have a lovely, lovely afternoon.
Yes.
And Isaac and I will see you in 2 weeks
See you in 2 weeks.
in March 10th. Bye for now.
Bye.
Up, up, up. Okay, there we go. Now I'm hitting it. Did it end? I think we're still going. Try
I
this
think we
again.
are.